Welcome to another episode of Granite Shorts. Today we're at a customer's house again, and we're going to go over the things you need to check for after the installation is complete. We're going to wait for our installers to clean up, finish the job, and then we'll go over all the points that you should look out for. The kitchen countertops are installed, so let's go through the checklist and make sure everything is good. First thing we're going to check is the seam. The seam should not be noticeable. From about 2 feet away, I'm barely able to spot it here. And that's because it's smaller than 1/8 of an inch. And also, the epoxy that's used to put the two pieces together is colored to match the stone. And the back one I can't tell at all. Another thing to check is the sink reveal, the slight overhang around the sink. It should be consistent throughout. And the last thing to check around the sink area is the clearance of the faucet. So we're going to slide it in, and basically what you want to check for is the handle operation. Make sure it's not hitting the backsplash or the wall behind it, and the placement, make sure that it rotates accordingly. In this case, we also have a small soap dispenser right here, which we're going to place right here. So you want to make sure that it actually is close enough to the sink. The next important thing to check is the overhang around the cabinets. You want to make sure that it's even on the whole length. Also check to make sure that you can open all of the drawers and the appliances like the dishwasher. It's also important to check the gaps next to appliances like the stove and the fridge. You got to make sure that it's enough that if you ever need to pull it out, you can do so without scratching the sides of the appliances. And the last but still very important thing is to check the edges. Run your finger through the edge and feel for any bumps or unevenness. You also want to make sure that the polish is consistent and that the thickness or the profile of the edge is consistent throughout the whole kitchen. And the last thing to check after you've done all the previous steps is to ask the installer how often your countertops need to be resealed. Different stones need different intervals before they need to be resealed. So make sure to get that information from the installer. That's it for today's Granite Shorts, and I'll see you next week.